Has it ever crossed your mind that the tiny flap of a butterfly's wings in a distant forest could cause a devastating hurricane weeks later on another continent? It sounds crazy, doesn't it? But behind this strange idea lies one of the most profound scientific and philosophical theories in history: the butterfly effect. Imagine a warm morning in a tropical forest. The air is still, the trees are damp with night dew, and a small butterfly lands on a purple flower. It gently moves its delicate wings, a tiny movement, so small it seems meaningless. But what if I told you that this slight vibration creates a subtle disturbance in the air? A disturbance that travels, grows, and evolves. Until weeks later, it becomes part of a massive hurricane somewhere else on the planet? This scene isn't just poetic imagination. It's a real idea that stunned scientists more than half a century ago. In the 1960s, an American meteorologist named Edward Lorenz was working on one of the first computers in history. Trying to simulate the weather, he entered numbers representing temperature, wind, and air pressure. But one day, something unexpected happened. Lorenz wanted to repeat an experiment, but instead of typing 0.506127, he typed 0.506. He removed only 3 digits after the decimal, a difference so small you wouldn't even notice it in normal calculations. Yet the result was astonishing. When he ran the program, the weather simulation changed completely. It was as if the planet had chosen a new path. At that moment, Lorenz realized something extraordinary. Complex systems, like weather, are extremely sensitive to tiny changes at the beginning. A small shift in the starting point can lead to huge, unpredictable outcomes over time. And this became what we now call the butterfly effect. What does the theory actually mean? Simply put, it says that every small event, no matter how insignificant it seems, can lead to massive consequences. The world is so deeply interconnected that we can't predict how small actions will ripple outward. For example, if you had a time machine and went back to change something tiny, like delaying someone by 1 minute, you might return to the future and find a completely different world. That's the magic of the theory. We live in a universe built on tiny events that cause enormous changes without us ever noticing. Real-life reflections. Think about your own life. How many times did a small detail completely change your path? Maybe you missed a bus and met someone who changed your career. Maybe you randomly picked up a book that transformed the way you think. Or you sent a message you didn't plan to send, and a whole chain of events began because of it. These are the hidden butterfly wings in our lives, moving the air around us in ways we never see. The deeper scientific side. The butterfly effect is part of what's known as chaos theory, a field of science that studies complex systems that can't be predicted precisely: weather, fluid motion, ecosystems, even human behavior. These systems depend on millions of interacting factors. Because we can't measure all these factors with perfect accuracy, even the tiniest error at the beginning leads to drastically different results later. That's why we can't predict the weather accurately beyond 2 weeks. The variables are simply too many. Scientists apply this concept to many fields. Economics, how small decisions can trigger global crises. Biology, how a single mutation can reshape a species. Psychology, how small childhood experiences can influence a person's entire life. The philosophical side. The butterfly effect also raises deep questions about fate, destiny, and choice. Do we really control our future? Or are we reacting to countless tiny events that began long before we were born? Maybe getting lost once led you to discover something that changed your life. Maybe a small decision you made changed the life of someone you don't even know. Life becomes like a huge canvas. Every tiny brushstroke changes the entire painting. This idea inspired many movies and stories, most famously the film The Butterfly Effect, where a man goes back in time to change small details of his past. And every change creates a completely different future, sometimes better, sometimes worse. It's a reminder. We dream of changing the past, but we forget that every moment shaped who we are today. History is full of butterfly moments. A single apple falling inspired Newton to discover gravity. A tiny spark of electricity slowly led to the invention of the light bulb and later the internet. One meeting between scientists or artists changed the course of culture forever. Every small moment in the past was a butterfly wing that created the world we now live in. We can't control how every small action will ripple through the world, but what we can do is choose to create beautiful actions. Maybe a word from you saves someone. Maybe a smile gives hope to a broken heart. Maybe a simple decision you make opens doors you never imagined. The world is a vast web of causes and effects, and we are all part of it. Every movement, every thought, every choice is a new butterfly wing flapping in this wide universe. A butterfly's wings may be invisible, but they can stir great storms. So make your storm beautiful. A storm of kindness, hope, and a legacy that lasts long after you.